Hello everyone, my name is Marion with DTM Real Talk Channel. It's the channel that you can tune into, have the ability to listen to the thoughts of others about topics all over the world that touch every one of our lives. Everybody goes through basically the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through, someone else has already been there. Maybe you can find hope. Maybe it's a pathway that can set you on the right road just by tuning in. So DTM Real Talk, just keeping it real. And if you like it, like us at the bottom, subscribe, and let us know just how we helped you. Just keeping it real. Nothing but love. Good evening. This is DTM Real Talk, and we're just keeping it real. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, we ask that you like, share, and subscribe. We're just here keeping it real, and we have Jazzy Baby today, and she's going to share with you. Introduce yourself to the good folks out there. Say hi.
Hello, I'm Jasmine Johnson.
Very good. And we have been rolling this month, y'all. Last week, we had a young lady to talk about how she met her mother, even though she lived in the house with her mother, but she didn't know her mother. So it's possible to not know somebody you're living in the house with, right? So Jasmine's going to share with us. As a matter of fact, her mom is a very good friend of mine and business partner for over 30 years. And I know that Jasmine has a very interesting story that can help a lot of you young people out there. And as a single mother, she's tunneled through. And we're going to talk about where she is now. But first, you want to hear where she came from. So Jazz, tell the good folks where you're from.
I'm from Gretna, Louisiana, basically the West Bank, though, because we stayed all over the West Bank of New Orleans.
Okay. What you mean by y'all stayed all over the West Bank of New Orleans?
We have Marrero, Gretna, Terrytown when Katrina hit. My grandmother stayed in Bridge City all of my life.
Okay.
My other grandmother stayed in Harvey. So
Yeah.
I know the West Bank.
Okay, so y'all, we call the West Bank the Blessed Bank. So Jazz is from the Blessed Bank. Okay, tell the good folks, how was your upbringing? Mom, dad in the house? Talk about that for a little while before we get into the struggles of a single mother.
Okay, my upbringing was a single parent household. My mom, my brother was always busy, but it was me, my brother, and my sister. I have one brother and one sister. And it was us. It was us. And we were really close knit because it was just us. My mom went through a lot of struggles. Her mother was a only child. So when we came into fruition, it was more of us. So it was a blessing to be close knit. My grandmother was always very involved as well, but my mom was the strong backbone of raising us to be who we are.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about how many children do you have today?
I have 8 of my own.
8 of your own, Jazz. You know what? I had 5. And I got to tell the good folks out there, Jasmine is a trooper. I had 5 and I was like, people would ask me when they come in my house, girl, you know, that noise don't upset your nerve. I go, what noise?
That's right. That's right, Miss Mary.
You gotta get immune to it. So you have 8 and you have a set of twins, right?
Yes, ma'am.
2
twin girls.
2 or 1?
No, it's one set of twins, twin girls. They just made 9 on Sunday.
Okay. Happy belated birthday, girls, wherever you are. Okay. And your first child, let's go there. Let's talk about that. Your first child, I got a chance to hold him when he was born.
And the first person, you were the first person to hold my baby. I still remember that. That was big to me. The first person outside of my mom and my sister who held my baby.
Yes, and he is how old today?
He's 17. He makes 18 January the 1st.
Turns 18.
So he's about to be 18 years old.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, I feel kind of old, y'all, but I'm not old. I'm just fine like wine, getting better day by day.
That's it, baby. We don't crake. We do not crake.
Oh my God, this phone is ringing. But okay, Jasmine, when you found out you were pregnant, let's go there. So what was going on when I don't know if you decided to get pregnant or you happened to get pregnant? Let's talk about that. You bold girl. Come on, let's talk about
Okay. This is a story right here.
it. Okay.
Um, I was 14, turning 15, and I was really freaked out because I had just started being sexually active. My mom didn't know that I was sexually active. Um, and someone that I was being sexually active with, he was 10 years older than me. So it was really like a sneaky thing. And lo and behold, I got pregnant when I missed my period. That's how I found out that I was pregnant. I still remember it like it was today. I remember my mom had us in, me and Noodle is my little sister name. She had us in private school, and I was in the 8th grade at the time. And I remember it was after school. I had just took the pregnancy test the day before, but on this day it was after school. And I went to school, came home. My mom had picked me up and stuff. She didn't know I was pregnant. I had just found out. And I laid down after school and I was like,
Just like a tiny bit because you're cutting your head off a little bit. You're
okay,
cutting.
I'm sorry.
There
I'm
you go.
sorry.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
So it was after school.
Yes, it was after school and I had laid down to take a nap after school, and I just had a quickening in my spirit like, Jay, you got something really living inside of you, something living and growing, and it's going to be a human being inside of you. And I hurried up and jumped up out of the bed. And I just stepped around in a few circles and had my hand on my head like, this is really happening. And you're going to have to come to tell your
Have
mom
to come clean. You're gonna have to
way.
come clean, Jess.
Some type of way. I got to tell my mom. And my mom was just a beautiful, strong Black woman to me. And I didn't know how to tell her this because I knew it was going to be disappointing because she still was raising me, you know. And that's how I found out. But I told her.
When did you tell her?
I told her. When did I tell her, Lord? I don't remember.
Did you tell her as soon as you found out, or you waited a month, or what?
It was my brother's girlfriend at the time. They were in high school. Okay. She was staying with us.
Okay.
And she would watch me and Noodle while my mom worked. So she was in high school and she had us in her care. And it was her older cousin that I got pregnant for. While she was watching us, like sometimes we'll go by her auntie. Okay. So I think she broke it down to my mom first. So when I got to my mom, it alone, just me and her, she was very soft. And I really thank God for that grace that she gave me, because it could have been any type of way. You know, I was young having a baby. She could have treated me very harshly.
Right.
But by the grace of God, she didn't. And it's a trip just remembering these things, you know, as I'm talking to you about it. She was very gentle with me. And we made it through. And she was there with me from day one until he was born.
Wow. Were you afraid when you found out you was pregnant? You were going through that time of pregnancy. Were you afraid or anxiety?
I guess I really didn't think about it that much. I knew that I had to get on my stuff to know what I needed to know about having a baby, how to care for a baby properly, because I wanted to make sure that I could handle my own. I didn't want to bring a child into this world that my mama would have to do everything for. I can't make a bottle or change a diaper, you know, the proper way. Yes. So when I got pregnant, Hurricane Katrina hit too. So in the midst of me being pregnant, Hurricane Katrina hit when I was about, I think like 6 months. about 5, 6 months.
Okay.
And so that was very catastrophic, if I'm saying the word right,
Yeah, yeah.
because we moved to Tyler, Texas from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I
I
was
know. I
shelled.
remember your mom called and asked where we were. And we were like in Tyler. And she's like, I'm on my way.
That was a hard time.
Yeah.
That was a hard time. And she made up her mind when we were in the parsonage, that some people was, helping take care of us too in
Yes.
Tyler, Texas.
Remember
She
that.
made up her mind that she wasn't going back. And that really freaked me out, like, because I didn't know nothing about nowhere else. I had barely knew anything about New Orleans at all, So it's like my teenage years grew up in Tyler, Texas, but we
Wow.
made it through. We
Wow.
made it through.
Okay, so Jacoby was born, and so when did the next one come? Talk about that.
Yes, ma'am. I had my next child at 18 years old.
So this
And
was 15, 14, and then 4 years later you were 18.
yes, I want to backtrack a little bit back to Jacoby.
Go ahead.
He by Katrina hitting, and we moved to another area. God really blessed. God really blessed, and I had favor. I had everything that my baby needed. I was able to go to parenting classes so I'll know how to take care of baby properly. I even went to classes to see who would be his pediatrician. So I thank God that I had the knowledge and the wisdom to take care of the baby properly at an early age. So that's how that went. My next baby was born when I was 18 years old. I was a CNA. I had started being a CNA at 16 years old. It was a program because of Hurricane Katrina through the Workforce Commission, and I was able to become a CNA at an early age at 16. So I was able to make some good money, but I didn't know how to be grown. How to pay
How to
bills, to
manage.
get a house. Huh?
You didn't know how to manage your money.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. At all. But I got pregnant for a young guy. He had lied to me about his age, and he was always in the streets. So with my second baby, I've just about been on my own with him all of my life, as well as my oldest son too. But just making poor decisions, looking for love in all of the wrong places.
Yes.
And babies being made in the midst of it.
Understood.
So that's basically what happened when I was 18 years old, and I was able to have Jadarius, and CPS got involved.
Okay.
CPS got involved because I had marijuana in my system.
Okay.
I had stopped smoking weed while I was pregnant with Jadarius, but my grandfather had died 4 days before Jadarius was born. So when that happened, I didn't know how to grieve. I just went to the weed man. I was supposed to be going to my last doctor appointment. My auntie had came to the home and was telling me to get dressed. And I was like, okay, but why am I getting dressed? What's going on? I'm grown. I know how to get dressed. And she was like, after I did get dressed, she said, Grandpa Bush died. And I was like, okay. And after that, I didn't even go to my doctor's appointment. I just went to the weed man, looking for love in all of the wrong places, looking for the wrong comfort zones, when nothing can replace a void but the Holy Spirit. Went to the weed man, and I was just smoking weed until I had my baby.
Wow.
And then CPS got involved, and they let me out. They let me go real quick because they know that they came and investigated and saw what was going on with my grandfather and that I was a good mother. So they let me go with that one.
Okay. Well, where do you think, I'm listening to you and I'm thanking God for your transparency, being honest and open, that some young girl out there can understand that she's not alone and that somebody else has done the very same thing she's done, because you have, and look at you today.
Yes, ma'am.
And so where do you think that seeking for love came from? Where do you think that stemmed from?
You could repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Where do you think that seeking for love stemmed from in all the wrong
I
places?
believe that seeking for love stimulated from possibly having an absent father.
Mm,
And then, everyone is uniquely them. There's not a replacement of you. Never can be. That's one big gift that we have from God. Nobody can replace who you are, uniquely made by God. And I've always been a lover. I don't like fighting and drama. I've always been a genuine lover ever since I was really young. My mom always said that she was scared that a stranger would get me because I was so friendly, but I just always have naturally loved people genuinely. And so,
you're a very affectionate young lady, y'all. She is. She be out there like, she be like hugging on you and stuff.
but life will teach you that you can't be,
You can't be affectionate to everybody, Jasmine.
no, no, you cannot be. No, you can't. So I'm still learning that, but I thank God came a long way in that area.
Absolutely. So, okay, so the second baby was born, and then you were still looking for some loves because the third one came along. Okay.
Which is, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
The third baby came along. So talk about that a little bit.
Yes. And then when I was 21, at 21 years old, I had my next son. And that was a very, very chaotic time in my life. I wound up having a baby for my best friend, my best male friend.
Hmm.
And we wound up being in a relationship for a short period of time, but he was going through a lot of stuff within himself, and we wound up breaking up. A year later, after the breakup, I was staying with my grandmother in New Orleans, trying to stay in New Orleans, and I wound up moving. Me and my grandmother came down to Tyler, Texas, to visit my mom because she was getting married for the weekend.
Uh-huh.
And she got married Valentine's Day weekend. And I had wound up staying by him in his mom's house. And we wound up having sex one time, and my third son was me. So I went back to New Orleans pregnant, didn't even know.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
Looking for love
ma'am.
in all the wrong places. Well, I'm dying
Yes,
to get
ma'am.
to the end because I know what the end looked like. So what was with the next one? Do you guys hear this? She was absent of a father, but she was also looking for love in all the wrong places. And I think that's what we're
Definitely.
gonna call this. Yeah. And in the midst of it, God brought forth life through her children.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
talk about the rest of them, and then we're gonna get on to the end.
Okay. My next babies was I had a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage when Jamarian was 1 years old. My third son name is Jamarian. And when he was 1 years old, I had a miscarriage. I had gotten to a relationship with a guy um in New Orleans. I had went back and forth kind of. So much happened in between me having the miscarriage and having my third son because I moved to New Orleans with my cousin after I had him and wound up getting into a relationship with a guy that I was buying weed from. And it was all lovey-dovey in the beginning. I'm like, wow, I came home. I found the love of my life. This is it. This is their dude. No, it was not. Um, I wound up moving with him after a short period of time. And we were together. The hood knew that we was together. Everything was cool. But he was abusive. He
Mm.
started abusing me. Um,
Physically, Jasmine?
huh?
Physically?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am. Um, he 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 started. Um, my
Wow.
mind went blank, Miss Marion.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
You don't have to be
Um,
sorry. You don't even have to talk about it. So he was physically abusive and
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So that led to the miscarriage because it was mental abuse and physical abuse
yes, yes, yes.
because you say that you love me, but at the same time you hitting on me and you drawing blood. When I look in the mirror, I got black eyes and bust lips and stuff. My teeth are shifting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not love. And when you're searching for something, sometimes you don't know what is to be found,
What you
if
need.
that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense.
So yeah, that baby. I had a miscarriage at 3 months. And right after that, we moved to Houston, Texas. So I was in a total different area than where no family was there. It was just me and him. So the abuse got worse.
Mm,
And that happened from the end of 2012 until the ending of 2013. I wound up leaving him. He had hit me in my head with a pipe, and it was real swole, like right up here, this area.
uh-huh.
And my brother came and got me. And so me and my three sons, we were just sleeping on my brother's floor because he was a bachelor. He didn't have no babies. He was in a 1 bedroom apartment, but he was like, "Sister, you can come here." And so I thank God. I thank God for the floors. That wasn't the only floor of his that I slept on. He's even had apartments with rooms for my babies, in case I had to come. So I thank God for my brother always being there for me,
Mhm.
knowing that I didn't have a dad. He always did what he had to do to help me the best way he knew how, you
Right,
know.
right. As that male figure for you.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And so that took place. But later down the line, I wound up getting back with him later on. What baby? Go press play. Go press play on the remote. And wound up getting pregnant with twins, identical twin girls. I believe I found
Yeah.
out May 2014. I found out, and they were born November 2014. And in the midst of me and him being back together and me being pregnant with twins, he cheated on me with an old friend of his. And I don't know, I felt like she did witchcraft or something on him because he didn't want me to touch him. It was a big shift in the atmosphere that took place. And he put me out 7 months pregnant with the identical twin girl. That was a very hard time for me and my three boys because I was giving him another chance and another opportunity to be with me. And you dropped me worse than trash. He dropped me off at the Salvation Army, 7 months pregnant with my three babies.
Mm.
Um, and my mom came and picked me up and she said, "Baby, you don't have to stay here." She came, picked me up, and she took in me and my three sons until after I had the twin girls, had CPS in my life with them because not me and not twin A, but twin B still had marijuana in her system.
The
My
baby.
mom had to took me in and she helped me to get an apartment so that we can get on our feet. I was in that CPS case for 2 years,
Wow.
2 years long, dipping and dodging out of the courthouses, and it wasn't no joke. But by the grace of God, I got my baby, and I continue to have them till this day. And it took nothing but the grace of God and His favor and His mercy to carry me through those times.
Amen. So, Jasmine, the reason I had you to tell the good folks the before story, because I know that your mom brought you up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. And I know that you, after she did that, you had to make some choices yourself. And you choose to make those challenging or wrong choices. And then And then I need you to tell the good folks at what point that you say, Lord, I surrender. Tell them at what point did you say that after you got home?
Okay, after the twins, that was a long CPS case. That was 2 years. So I wound up having a baby. But maybe about 6 months I got pregnant after I had the girls. So I had a baby, and his dad has never been involved. That was like just some club night stuff. His dad has never been involved. He's a beautiful child as well. Um, so that's how that went with him. After that, I had another son and another daughter for a guy that I thought that he would be it, because it was different being with him, but he was sneakier. I didn't know him as well as I thought that I did. Come to find out, he was into some drugs, and I didn't even know, never had seen any evidence, but it was real. It was real. People can really sleep next to you, and you never know what's held in their closet, so I thank God for all of the things that I've been through, from me and that last guy that I just was talking about. We had a son and a daughter. His son is the one that keeps coming back and forth, and they're beautiful, intelligent children. And I thank God for all 8 of my babies. A shift took place December 26, 2020. It was right before my sister, maybe like a week. I think it was like maybe 7 or 8 days before my sister had went into the hospital, because she went into the hospital January 3rd, 2021. On December 26, 2020, I woke up with him hitting me in my face with my phone. And that's how I woke up. He was hitting me in my face, slapping me in my face with my phone.
Wait, who was
And
doing that?
so, huh?
Who was slapping you in your face with the phone?
My baby's father was
Okay.
slapping me in my face with my phone.
Okay.
So when I realized what happened, because I'm waking up out of my sleep to all of this, I just say, get out, get out. And he was fussing about something with Facebook. A guy had tried to holler at me on Facebook, and that's how he reacted, by slapping me in my face, waking me up with my cell phone.
Okay.
So after that happened, and thank God my father was staying with me, I opened my room door and I was like, Dad, get him out of here. He hit me. So it was a quick movement. Like within 5 minutes, he was up out the house. But a quickening came to my spirit. I'm in my own home. I paid my own bills. You slapping me with the cell phone that I bought, and I paid the bill. I'm steady having babies for you. This 2 babies within the last 2 years, and nothing is changing. You don't help me with nothing. I'm already made. So what in the world is you doing? I don't deserve to be slapped in my face with the cell phone that I bought for nothing, basically, because the dude hollering at me. So it did something to me. It really did something to me. And right after that, my sister went into the hospital. And so my life literally changed. My life literally changed before my eyes, because I basically went into hibernation mode. I knew that no man could love me the way I need to be loved at that point, because I had felt like I lowered myself to even be with him and to allow him in my home. That was the first and the only male that I ever allowed to stay with me in my house. So I've lived with like the twins' dad and stuff before, but as far as a man staying with me, that's the only man. So for me to open up my home, that's like opening up your heart to someone, and to get violated like that, it really did something to me. So, and then my sister passed, and nobody was there. Like none of those males was there. It did something to me. It was God showing me they're not gonna ever be there. I'm always gonna be the one there for you. No man can do what I can do. No man can do what I've done. That was me. I'm your dad that was in the courthouse with you, that allow you to still have liberty and freedom to have your babies. You know, I'm the one that gave you the strength to endure so many things, so many obstacles, so many in between things that we're covering without covering. You know what I'm saying? Only God can fill certain voids. So when my sister died, and nobody, none of them dudes, all the laying down, all of the I love yous, all of the sneakiness, all of the disses, all of the hits, nobody was there. And that was a very hard thing. But would you believe that that same year, every last one of my baby daddies approached me relationship wise? But God hadn't grew my mind up to know that you don't go backwards, you go forward. And I thank God for the forward mindset, because only He can do a thing like that. It really puzzled me when all of the dads came at me, because all I could think about is where you been for your babies. You trying to holler at me, but you wasn't even much there for my sister's funeral, but you got the audacity, you know? So I just thank God that He can bring us from so many dual, empty, bottom situations and bring us into fruition of His plan with Him guiding us along. So right now I'm just at the point to where I can wait. I don't have to search no more. I don't have to look for a position where I think I'll be found. I'm waiting on the Lord, you know, because those that wait on the Lord, He shall renew their strength. And I still need strength in some areas because I've been through so many traumatic experiences, you know, and it takes times. But when He does a thing, that's something that's done for real, for real.
Yes, yes. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much. Y'all, I
Yes.
wanted y'all to hear this young girl's story because I knew it was, there's so many of you out there that are Jasmine's age and older, just women looking for love, all in the wrong places. And you heard her story, how nobody could satisfy her until she surrendered her life to Jesus Christ. And I just want to say, Jasmine, thank you so much. You're so beautiful. This is DTM Real Talk. And we just doing what? Keeping
it real.
And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching DTM Real Talk. Be sure to join us for more conversation. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe while you're there.